want to say is that they don't really care about us. Yeah, what's good? All right. So at the end of the day, I just used that title because it's the first thing that popped inside of my mind as soon as I said it. But Imani and Kami brought in some very, very interesting topics of conversation into the group as it pertains to our business. And oh, I should have put a topic with it, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep on going. And so we've been having this big old debate, right? For those of you, especially if you were in the book club, we've been talking about this Afrocentric versus Eurocentric business model. And so Imani came in and she gave this example. If you guys did not see her video, you need to go back where she talked about this situation where a Caucasian hosted an event. And the short version of it is that the event was highly expensive. And as we as sisters, what did we do? We did what we do to make sure that we could get there. But in the process of getting there, um, some of the women didn't have any money and they didn't have money to eat. And because they didn't have money to eat, somebody spoke up to see if they could just, provide something like, peanuts and water. The woman didn't want to do that. And she was like, oh, well, sometimes, you basically have to go hungry or whatever. And, to make a long story short, when the woman went about her own way to figure out how to help these women that were hungry, and word got out that somebody else took actions into their own hands, now all of a sudden the white woman wanted to be like, oh my God, that was so embarrassing. Like, why did you do that this way? And so on and so forth. And so this whole thing came up about how a lot of white people put stuff out there saying that, oh my God, we're going to make a sisterhood and this is going to be about community. And so it's real easy, buzzwords, community, tribe, stuff like that. And it's like, nah, baby, y'all just using that. And so Imani said, well, do you know how to discern? Do you know how to truly discern whether or not what you're offering or what's being offered to you? Is it more of this survival of the fittest, may the best man win, Eurocentric model versus the Afrocentric model, which is saying that, I don't win if you don't win. This is based on community. And so what does that look like and what does that translate to for you, especially when you get ready to do things, for instance, like invest in coaching, because this is going to be critical to you. And so I want you all to really pay attention. And I'm disclosing these things as a coach because I understand it when I say some of these things, it may make some of you say, well, I don't want to work with her. If you're the kind of individual and you're like, look, I think I got a really great product to sell. I got a market that I'm trying to reach and I'm going to do it by any means necessary. I just need to get these ads out here and I need to hit as many people as I possibly can. If you are really been out of shape and knowing that you just absolutely have to hit, millionaire mark and you trying to figure out how you can go up the ladder of, money as fast as you can, then you basically have a Eurocentric business model. You are trying to see what can you do to dominate in the industry. I mean, only in America do we say you can't have monopolies, but then still see that there are certain companies where they got the whole thing on lock. And so, but if you are the kind of person where you're like, look, I got to take care of my family. I want to take care of my family because we got to eat and we got to live. But I don't necessarily want everybody to have my product or service. But I'm looking for a specific set of people because something is hitting my spirit. If I don't live out this purpose and if I don't do this thing, then I'm going to be feeling like I'm dishonoring my life. And when I go and I do these things, yes, I'm going to hold people to a standard. Yes, I know that I'm supposed to walk in my word, but at the same time, I have no problem listening to the wisdom of the divine and saying, oh, I need to bless that person. I need to help that person. Or do whatever it is. And it might even be for free or for a reduced rate. You may be taking a speaking gig where you don't get paid. But there's something in you that's saying, but this is something that I need to do. And I'm actually trusting the divine to provide for me when those moments hit. Then you have an Afrocentric calling. And so you need to pay attention because when people are marketing and they're putting the gimmicks out there that are basically saying, hey, beautiful, you're able to catch me when people come out there and they're saying, hey, what are you doing? We got this 6 steps to 6 figures in 6 days and you can do this. And these are the only emails that sell and you can learn. And here's where you really get the gimmicky. This is how you really are able to discern. I can't stand this. And it's very hypocritical of coaches in the industry. They will tell you that you can't sell shit if you don't niche down, but then they offer their products to everybody. They're like, yes, if you know that you've got a dream, you got a passion, and you want to take your business and learn how to fully automate it and master Facebook ads so you can start bringing in 5 figures every month, and you want to you should sign up for this program. And then you go down to the Q&A. The frequently asked questions. It'll say things like, well, what if I've been in business for 10 years? That's great. You've got a solid foundation and you'll be able to implement this system easily. Well, what if I've been in business and I'm just a beginner? No problem. We'll give you everything that you need in order to be able to get what you got to do in order for you to get paid. See, that right there, there's no integrity in that, because most of you've already paid for those programs where you spent money and it was supposed to be able to help you even if you were a newbie, but you didn't even understand advanced strategies. You didn't have a list. You didn't have a CRM system. And if you did, you never emailed anybody, and it was a free version of MailChimp, and you don't know what landing pages are and lead generation is, and you don't know anything about promoting and copywriting, and so there's no integrity in it. There are no filters. But when you work with somebody that has a Afrocentric perspective to building a business, they're the kind of person that's going to have a real conversation with you. But where is your target audience? How are you doing? Well, why do you want to do this? And how are you going to start? They start asking you questions like, what's the why? And then they don't take that why and flip it back around and throw it in your face. They'd be like, oh, well, you said you just got to serve the little hungry kids. No. They actually will even give you honest feedback right then and there to say, yeah, sounding like a damn infomercial. They will give you honest feedback and say in that moment, okay, I need you to understand this. This is what your journey is going to look like. And when you have someone that's willing to pause and be transparent with you, and then you make a decision from there, then you know that you're dealing with somebody who has a community-driven heart. And if they turn you down, and I've seen people get pissed at me for this, but if they turn you down, then you also know that they have a community-driven heart, because they're not just trying to take your money. I have literally had conversations with clients where I'm like, look, you need to sign up, you need to get in here, you need to do my program right now. And I promise you, I can help you turn your situation around. And when I tell them that, within 30, 60, or 90 days, they have a drastic change. I have had other clients where I've said, this is going to be an uphill journey, but you can still do this. I believe in your business model. Are you willing to do those things? And those clients who believe me, they're still here. If it's a one size fits all, it's Eurocentric. If it's penetrating your soul and singling your ass out, it's Afrocentric. You say, we'll put out your all receipts. Say, yes, I don't know why I be always stammering over reading your comments. Yes, Afrocentric will pull out your all receipts back on you. Yes, so you grow. Absolutely. Eurocentric will tell you everything is possible. And what they'll do is, in the fine print, put out a disclaimer. Not everybody will achieve these same results. But this is possible for you. Oh. So in the fine print, the shit that you all don't read under their guarantee, y'all love seeing that big old guarantee, not knowing that guarantee to get your money back comes with you having to do a whole bunch of shit in order to be able to get it, or be a pain in the ass that they don't want to potentially deal with. They will let you know. And I still think it's funny that I can go to some of these people and go to their pages, and they still have the same faces of the primary people that were their wonder stars. Yeah, if you go on my page, you're gonna see people that say, it took them 90 days to make $6,000. You're gonna see somebody else that said it took them a year to make some money in business. You're gonna see somebody else that said they made $30,000 in less than 2 months. You're gonna see somebody else that say that they launched a business in 90 days and actually successfully started acquiring clients. You're gonna see other people that say they only had 2 clients for whatever. All of the results have to vary. They have to vary because what you come with your background varies. Yes, Eurocentric, pie in the sky, Afrocentric, dirt in the mud. And I like the fact that you put that in there, because there are a lot of things you guys need to understand. I'm very Black. I love who I am, and I love my people. And so a lot of us sometimes as Black people, when we start thinking what Afrocentric is, this is why I love your post. I'm gonna go ahead and say something to you about this now, Camille, is because it's not because you put the fist up. It's not because you were in an afro. It's not because you got the fist pick in your head. It's not because you wear kitten cloth. It's not because you read certain books or you eat certain foods. It is the embodiment of your spirit. And so a lot of people like me who came from a Christian background, was taught that a lot of things that are Afrocentric or demonic, had to get away from that shit, though I don't believe none of that now. It's still, you can see where it's in my presence and the way that I do things. Because one of the things I've always said is that I'm a get down in the dirt with you level coach. never ever really thinking about whether or not my business model was different. It's on one of my videos on YouTube right now. I said I'm in the thick of it with you. I get down in the dirt, get down in the trenches with you, level coach, because I understand that that's what it's going to take sometimes for you to build your business. One of my girlfriends, like I said, where this video started from, she talked about how that woman didn't want to feed the women or didn't want to give any resources in order to make sure that they could at least, curb their hunger pain. From the very beginning, my speakers and my help, the people that are helping me with my event, they will tell you the first thing that them people have to do when they sign up is fill out an anonymous form. And yeah, it's going to be for games and for karaoke because I want to know favorite songs. But there's also a section that says, what are your top 3 snacks? And please list the brand name. Why? Because I know that when I give them the big bag, if they want Quaker oat granola bars, that's what they're going to get. If they prefer Laura bars, that's what they're going to get. If they don't like Planters peanuts, I'm literally going to go to the grocery store and give them a goodie bag so that they can have some things to hold them over. Why? But that's because I've been through some stuff. And see, that's the other thing that lets you know. Eurocentric says, I've been through some shit. So when you get through your shit, you come holler at me. Afrocentric says, I've been through some shit and I don't want you to go through any unnecessary shit because we all have to go through something in life. But how can I get you to circumvent that? See, the Eurocentric will say something like that. Oh, we'll help you get past the potholes of building a business. But when it gets down to the thick of suffering, oh, you got a mindset block. Oh, that's some things you need to work out. And the only way I can help you is if you click another link and you give me some more money and you do this and you do that. And if you just kind of fall off because you don't have your money up, well, God is testing you. And when you figure that shit out, you bring it back. Afrocentric, which also aligns with Acts chapter 5 in the Bible, am I saying it wrong, 4 or 5, where it says that they brought everything that they had together and then dispersed it accordingly so that nobody would lack. So that nobody would like. You said still blown. Yes, not even a peanut, ma'am. Yes, shaking my head. That pissed me off. It was very hard for me to watch Imani's video. And so I'm just saying, but so the Eurocentric version is like, and that's what the lady said in the video. She's like, oh, well, I know they may be hungry, but I've seen my mom, go hungry too. And she was like, so you ever been hungry? Well, I personally haven't been, but I know how that is sometimes. They'll be all right. Well, the sister was like, this is not all right. They can't even concentrate on the training that they get here because they're too busy dealing with the hunger pains. That's the difference. So yes, if you are community driven, if you are people driven, if you are not money driven, period, point blank. And so what I don't like is that people try to teach business like if you say that I'm not about the money, that you got a money mindset block. Don't get it twisted. If you be like, oh, I'm not about the money, and then I see you don't want to charge for your products and services, you have a money mindset block. But you're talking to somebody who's charged people $4,000 for this, $7,500 for this, $1,000 a month for this, $100 a month for this, $27 for this, $47. I don't need no money on the table. I got little products and big products. I don't have a problem charging people money because I understand that I'm worth it and I'll snap out on your ass if you try to play me. But there is a difference between knowing your worth and knowing that you're charged and then sometimes saying, you know what? Here's an example. My coaching contract says that you can have an interim coaching call. It's somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes between your sessions. But if it goes after that, then I'm cutting on the clock and then you have to pay for it. Why do I do that? I do that as a protection for myself. So that if a person feels like just because they're paying me for one-to-one that they can have unlimited access to me, that I can nip that shit in the bud and be like, no. You need to go through and do the work and process this shit, then come back to me and we handle it on our next session. I'm not going to stay on the phone with you all day unless you pay. But even though that's there, every single coaching client that I have ever had can tell you that on any given day, all of them have been on the phone with me for a minimum of an hour in the middle of a crisis, and I've never built them for shit. You want to know why? Because it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And so the tricks and the gimmicks out here will have you believing that every single person that does not spend any money and that does not invest is because they misprioritize and they want to buy all of the wrong shit and they want to invest in their business, and that's bullshit. And I know it's bullshit because I've been the woman that's been down to the bottom that paid into some Eurocentric bullshit and then didn't have nothing to show for it because I was in a program prematurely because they didn't have enough integrity to tell me that I have no business being in there, and I had to grind my ass off, watch so many fucking tutorials, still get out there looking like a damn fool, but doing whatever I could in order to make my business work. And so I run into sisters every single day that are doing everything that they can to make their businesses work. And they're using the last that they have. And so for me, Your last is just as valuable, if not even more valuable, than a person who gives me $2,000 but had $5,000 just sitting around. Because a lot of times people with money think that they just buying for shit to get done for them. And a lot of times the people that's pulling the last that they got is like, what do I got to do to make sure that I honor what it is that I paid for? And so that's part of your litmus test. You said that part. I don't want you to go through what I went through. So come get this wisdom right quick. Exactly. Instead of being like, shit, I went through it. You'll be okay. Yeah, but how long did it take you to be okay? You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that may be confused and watch this on YouTube, I'm watching this video also in my private community. If you happen to be a sister or a woman of color that's looking to be in an environment where we can have more detailed conversations about stuff like this and have a conversation about the real, you come over to aclive.co, because I'm tired of us not walking in our truth, not walking in our integrity, and not walking in what we believe in, and trying to sound professional and look a certain kind of way so that we can go along and get along. You can build a profitable, sustainable business and operate and function in a way and in a manner that is true to you. What messes us up and where we mess up our money is when we're still trying to figure out how do we build this business that we want, that is so people oriented, and then still trying to meld them with these Eurocentric issues. And yeah, Camille is a part, she's in my inner circle, and she, when she really looks at it, she can say, I can see where August was dealing with, because there was a season when I didn't come down to this place that I'm in right now, where I am intentionally creating products and services at price points that I know will challenge a sister, but that she can still afford. Because they need the help, but then I also have to have what I need to be in business. But see, but in the background, I had a sister reach out to me to read me a book that she was finally able to write after doing one-on-one coaching with me. But what nobody knows was this was a low-key background. I didn't say shit to nobody. I coached this woman for free. I believed in her vision so much, and I offered her financial support. But I said financial support isn't good enough because I see some holes in your business and some things you need to fix, and I want to donate coaching to you. And that opened up some things for her. And so I'm always in the background honoring effort. See, value we can't keep on talking this shit. Money's imaginary. It's just the thing that we use as a tool. Well, if it's just a tool and this is imaginary, why do I always got to trip off of it? Why do I always got to make sure that I'm getting it? I don't. I absolutely do not. What I got to do is make sure that if it takes me, so this is what I'm saying, my disclaimer for myself and anybody that watches this video, but for the rest of you all, I have to liken it to the movie Harriet. Harriet got freedom, but could not feel content in her freedom without going back and constantly risking sacrificing her freedom and her life to go get other people so that they could be free. And every time she went and got somebody else, she was more empowered to the point that she ended up leading an army of men to free more people. That's where August Crenshaw is at. See, our ancestors were willing to fight for freedom, knowing that they would never possibly see it, but they knew that one generation to come or the next generation after that would actually get it. And so for me, it is more important to make my mark and to create more successful entrepreneurs than it is for me to make more money than I can ever imagine. Because you want to know what? For some reason, the money still keeps coming anyway. For some reason, I still keep advancing anyway. But I've made a decision and I've determined in my heart that I absolutely will not. You don't have to want this. But when I die, I want there to be a big ass funeral. Celebration, though. I'm like you, Camille. I don't want people crying and snotting. I want people saying, August, hey, like they did with Nipsey. Hey, the marathon continues. That's what I want my legacy to be. I refuse to be a person that I'm like dust in the wind when I'm gone. I want to know that I live much longer than my life is. That is what we have in us as human beings. And when you want to do that, everything else comes naturally. Well, let me see what other comment that you put up here before I get ready to go out of here. So I know my part. I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to walk in. You said effort is worth so much more than the other stuff. Effort gives you cyclical blessings. You get them and you give them because of it. And anytime I've seen effort and I've honored it, I've never, ever felt bad about it. So when I did I lied. And now I am finna get ready to get out of here. But when I did my Business Mastery Summit, the first time around when I did it, and I had a woman, I said, hey, you guys promote the summit. Whenever promotes the summit, I'm going to follow the hashtags and somebody's going to win a prize. Somebody will get a free all access pass. And I already knew I was going to do 1 to maybe 3 months of free coaching. I had one sister who watched every single video and left a comment about every single speaker. And I'm like, dang. And not superficial. I mean, she was rallying people up, telling them to come. You guys need to see this. You all need to participate. And I said, she's going harder for my stuff. I got to go hard. I can't have her going harder for my stuff than I am. But it was such high zeal. I said, no, I have to match the energy and the effort. And I offered that woman a 6-month coaching session. Coaching package. And we still work with each other today. So if I was tripping off the money, then she and I, we wouldn't be where we are right now. I was more in tune with what my calling was. As a matter of fact, I remember when I couldn't get any clients, and I remember crying because I wanted to quit. And I looked at my husband. I said, I can't though. He invested a lot of time and effort into me. I said, you know what? I'm going to go out here and get me a client, even if it's got to be a free one, because I'm going to walk in my truth because I'm a fucking coach. And I reached out to a girlfriend I went to high school with. I asked her, does she want to be a client of mine? She said yes. And then right after that, I started signing people up. Some of you, your biggest breakthrough is in the fact that you haven't yielded to the spirit to listen. But if you just yield, instead of trying to do things the way these Europeans are doing and making sure that you got all of your technology and your ducks in a row, you don't understand that your breaking point in your business, where your breakthrough in your business has more to do with where and how you grow spiritually, what translates in your mind and in you and what you embody. So that's the big difference. So I'm gonna get out of here. I don't think you have any more comments. Whoever watches the video later, I love you. Say a whole damn dance concert and General Assembly meeting. So yeah, there it is. Mm. I love y'all. We got to start using our minds. You don't have to be victims of propaganda. Think. Get out of here.